Hello everyone once again. This is Vinayak Naravade here, and today's session will be about mathematics optional. A lot of requests again for mathematics optional related strategies, and since I have posted my 2019 and 2020 mark sheets, everyone is also asking the same thing, that how could you take a jump of 100 marks in basically two successive mains. So just to give you an overview, in the 2019 mains, I had only 178 marks in this mathematics optional, and that was the reason I didn't even get an interview call. I had decent marks in GS, but very low marks, as I have said, only 178 in 2019. And I'll tell you a few things about why such low marks in the first attempt. Like most of you know, that I returned from the US and then I started preparing for this exam and gave the first attempt in 2019. During my first attempt, first of all, I had not finished my entire syllabus. So that was one of the major drawbacks for me while going into the examination. Secondly, I would say that with mathematics as an optional, you tend to think that you are supposed to get more than 330 340 marks, and then basically you can also ignore GS a little bit, and even if you score less in GS, you are supposed to be on a better level than others, because you have already taken a lead of 40-50 marks in mathematics. But I would request everyone not to think in this manner, because a lot of us are aiming for IAS, so it requires basically a top 70 rank. And to get a top 70 rank, not only your maths optional related scores, but also your GS scores are very important, and for that matter even your personality test scores are very important. So everything has to converge. You cannot rely on one particular subject and then ignore a few other subjects. So I would say keep your studies balanced. So what changed when I went from 2019 to 2020? I guess maths optional paper in 2019 was held on 27 September, and right at 12 o'clock I realized that on 27 September 12 o'clock, that is after my maths 1 paper, I realized that I was not going to make it even for the interviews. So I made up my mind. I gave the second paper with a very heavy heart. I literally cried during the break, between the first and the second paper. And after coming home, I made a promise to myself that first of all I would finish the entire syllabus, and second of all I would work very hard for the next attempt. I did not wait for the mains result. I did not prepare anything for the DAF, and I took like a 10-15 days break, and I started basically completing the syllabus. My process for 2020 started way back in October 2019. So I had a lot of time, and this helped me to basically revise maths 5 to 6 times before the mains examination. And I believe that every one revision will of the entire syllabus will increase your marks by at least 7 to 10 by at least 7 to 10 points. So that is the way I look at this. Like, the more the number of revisions, the more you are going to score, because with maths it is about practice. See, it is different knowing the problems which you are solving for a particular chapter, and then going into an exam hall, and then all sets of problems start coming together within a single day in a period of 6 hours. So you have to have a lot of practice. With respect to maths, you are not able to, like most of the toppers would also say this, I would say that you won't be able to finish the entire paper, but whatever you are solving, you need to ensure that it is absolutely correct, and this is possible only and only with practice. So as I said, like in October I started with finishing my syllabus, and once the first revision was done, what I started was like I started revising my syllabus. So maths was something that I was doing every day, even before the prelims. Like a lot of times it is said that 3 months or 2 months before the prelims you should give up the practice of your optional. But for me it was not supposed to be the case, because I was very confident going for prelims this year that I would crack it, and hence I was basically giving 1.5 hours every day, even during these times, for mathematics option. So just in a few words, there's no alternative to practice, and there's no alternative to pen and paper approach. For maths you are not supposed to read anything, you are just supposed to solve and solve. I have posted a few pictures on my Telegram channel about the number of pens or the ink which I have used during the past 1 year, the number of notebooks which I have scribbled for mathematics, and that itself tells the story of my past 1 year about how serious I have been regarding mathematics and improving the score there. So I would divide this session in two particular sections. One is for those who will be writing mathematics, who will be writing mains this year, and the other will be for those who will be starting with respect to their UPSC preparation. So to go with the first half, I would first like to basically talk about those who will be writing mains this year. So hopefully you have already basically calculated the number of marks which you are getting in prelims, and I would say it is now the right time to start writing answers as well as writing full length tests. So with respect to the next 5 or 6 days, you should start revising your syllabus, not only with respect to maths but also with respect to GS. So how I would distribute a day after prelims, I have already talked in detail in one of the Zoom sessions which I conducted, but I would also give a gist over here. I would say dedicate, like, if you're trying to work for 14 or 15 hours, dedicate 7 to 8 hours for mathematics optional, and the remaining 7 to 8 hours for your GS studies. So I used to distribute it like morning session will be for mathematics and evening session will be for GS plus answer writing. Remember, in the first 5-6 days immediately after prelims, what you need to do is, for GS you need to do the extra topics which come up. For example, disaster management, internal security. So these are the topics which you should be basically preparing notes and revising them well beforehand, so that you can immediately start answer writing in that case. For maths, what I would recommend is start revising as soon as possible. I hope you have also solved a few test papers before going for the prelims, but if you have not, now is the right time. What you can do is you can join a test series by IMS. That is very important. Because once you join a test series, what happens is you are basically going for solving those question papers every day or like every week, and that gives you a lot of practice about those topics wherein you are not performing well. So when you are doing your revision, I believe that you are focusing on these particular problems. And if you have not already prepared a book of wrongs, this is the right time for you to prepare a book of wrongs while revising immediately after prelims. Those questions which are going wrong, write them on a separate A4 sheet of paper. Why I am telling this? Because this is extremely important in to go through these problems, especially in the gap between your GS papers and your mathematics paper, because you have 1 week during that period of time. So try to make this book of wrongs. It should be around 10 to 15 pages for each chapter in the syllabus. So practice a lot. Don't read anything now for mathematics. You just have to use your pen and paper. There is no alternative for this. I'll again and again emphasize this. So what next? So I would distribute it something like 5 days for practicing for revising, 1 day for your writing the full length tests and revising basically, or going through the explanations of that full length tests. And if you still have time, this is something that you need to do. Not if you still have time. This is mandatory for you. So take basically questions from 2008 previous year questions, and make sure you're solving them all. Now, how does this help solving the previous year questions? So this helps in a way that when you are revising a particular chapter, you will remember that, okay, this particular question was asked by the UPSC some time back. So you will pay extra attention while revising that particular chapter. So you need to ensure that all the questions from 2008 to 2020 are successfully revised by you, and you also have noted them in your book of wrongs, problems which are going wrong, which you are not able to do again and again. So these are this is my mantra for basically going forward to mains, revisions, test series, and your book of wrongs along with previous year question papers. So if you are able to do these 3 to 4 things, I will guarantee you that you will see a great improvement. If you have written mains before, you will see a great improvement of at least 20 to 30 marks from your previous score. And if you have not written mains before, you will see a gradual increase in your test series scores. So please do this. Now I'll start with the second part of the session, and this is for students who are starting with UPSC preparation, who are looking forward to take maths as an optional. So to all those who are looking forward to this, I would once again say a lot of effort is required, because maths is something that does not add any value to your GS optionals, but maths is also something that can get you in the top 50, top 70 ranks, and get you your preferred service as well as your preferred cadre in certain cases. So it is a really brave decision, and take it only if you are very comfortable with mathematics. I have always repeated that for me it was when I'm happy I used to do maths, and when I'm sad I used to do maths. So that is something that you have to look forward to. You have to look forward to doing maths in every mood, in depression, in ecstasy, and as well as during festivals. You don't have to care about festivals. So if you're ready for that, please take mathematics as an optional, and it will give you very good returns. So that is about the clarity of mind with respect to taking maths as an optional. Now the second part, what are the notes you should be referring. So a lot of times it is told that there are Krishna series PDFs or other things, but I personally didn't have that much amount of time to go through MD Rai Singhania or Krishna series books. So what I did was I bought the IMS notes. They were very concise, I would say, and everything was in one place, and I didn't have to basically waste time with respect to finding different sources for the same. So IMS notes, I would say they are well sufficient. But now a lot of IMS notes are also available online. But the problem with those notes is that they have around 20 to 30% of syllabus missing. So you can download those notes, but at the same time confirm from your friends at IMS Coaching Institute whether what are the chapters which are missing in those notes, and then you can take a Xerox from them, or you can directly buy them from the institute, which will provide you a comprehensive which will provide you comprehensive notes. So that is about the books. I did not refer any sort of Krishna series, MD Rai Singhania. I'll reiterate this. I just referred to the notes, and I did around 6 to 7 revisions before going for the mains, and that helped me to improve a lot of my marks. So that is about the book list. Now second thing, once again, maths. This is again for students who are starting new. Maths is not something that can be read. It has to be a pen and paper approach. So be ready with respect to that. You have to use your pen and paper at least once every day, for even before the prelims, because what happens with mathematics is you tend to forget things, and why this happens is because you are out of practice, and you are out of practice because you tend to read things, or you do not use your pen and paper. And if that is the case, I believe that it is going to get you very low marks, and that will basically reduce your confidence so much that you will start thinking about whether you have taken the right optional or not. So if you are ready for that, it is up to you, but my thing will be pen and paper approach. So the third thing is, once again I would say, is book of wrongs. When you are going through the first reading, it will take you around 2.5 to 3 months to go through the first reading of your mathematics optional. During the second reading, you will again go through it without making any book of wrongs. But during the third reading now, third reading in the sense, third reading of syllabus with your pen and paper, this time you will start to look at problems which you are finding difficult, and you will start noting them on separate A4 sheets, chapter wise. As I have said previously, these should be around 14 to 15 pages per chapter, and that will help you a lot. Especially during the revision stuff, because the fourth revision will again be of the entire syllabus, but the fifth and sixth revisions, they will be only about the book of wrongs, the problems which are going wrong, because now you are already comfortable with problems which are going right, so you need not solve them again and again. But the problems which are going wrong, that need to be solved again and again, and that is only going to get you those 20, 30, 40 marks extra in that particular examination. So that is about book of wrongs. So what should be the approach? I would say at least 2 to 3 revisions. So 2 revisions before prelims. Now I am talking about revisions. So there will be one complete reading, there will be revision number 1 and revision number 2. So this should be your approach before prelims, that you should have at least gone through the entire syllabus thrice before going for the prelims, and this will help you a lot. This will help you go with a lot of confidence into prelims, and you will also come out of the prelims with a large amount of confidence, so that you will start preparing for mains. So 2 revisions plus 1 reading, or 1 reading plus 2 revisions before going into the prelims is something that I would advise. Now if you have time and if you are comfortable, try to get previous year's test series from any institute. I did it from IMS. I took like the 2019 test series from one of the Google Drives or one of the Telegram channels, and I tried solving that test series before the prelims. So I already had that amount of practice of going through the entire syllabus in one sitting in one particular day for Maths 1 and Maths 2. So I was very confident with respect to that. So that was 19 test series which I solved during this time, just before the prelims. And after the prelims, I actually joined the test series which was online. So I was writing papers as soon as they were out. I was sending them for evaluation, and I was getting the evaluated copies, working on them. One problem with IMS is that sometimes you may be getting it. They may take a lot of time to go to check your copies. But the good thing about this is, since you have invested a lot of money, you are writing these tests on time, and that helps. That helps especially in the main examination. Even if you get the copies checked later, but since you are practicing and you are self-evaluating these copies, it will help you a lot. So 2 test series, one before the prelims and one after the prelims. That is very, very important. That will give you a lot of confidence. Now again, as I have already told those who will be writing mains this year, so you also need to go through previous year question papers. So you can start from 2008. There are solutions available on the IMS website. There is a book available by Next IAS, I would say, which have given out the solutions for these topics. So these can be either bought from the market or found on Telegram channels. You can do that particular thing. So this will help you basically solve those problems which you are not able to, and this will assist you in ensuring that all the problems which have been covered by UPSC since 2008, they will be solved by you. So that is the approach. That is the overall approach with respect to your book list, your pen and paper practice, the book of wrongs, as well as test series and previous year questions. Now how to start with the syllabus, because the syllabus is huge. Like I have this syllabus here, and you'll see it is highly decorated by me, because I have written like the small points about what to refer and from where to refer that. So I would basically, if you have a pen and paper, then please note these things down. I am not very good at technical aspects, so I still don't know how to share my screen on YouTube. So I'll be just dictating on which chapters you can do in an integrated fashion. So please note it down. Yes. So first thing would be with respect to going with calculus. Calculus is one of the easier chapters. So if you're going with calculus, then in paper 2 you will have real analysis and complex analysis. So calculus, real analysis, complex analysis, as well as vector analysis. These 4 chapters, they usually have the similar amount of the concepts. They have similar concepts, and since you will be doing these chapters after one another, you will be revising those concepts again and again, and it will help you retain that amount of knowledge. So this is again for those who are starting with the preparation. If you are able to do these 4 chapters in a single go, first you can do calculus, second real analysis, third will be complex analysis, and finally it will be vector analysis. So this will help you a lot, as I have said. Then secondly, you can group chapters like ordinary differential equations and partial differential equations. If you do both of them together, it will again help you revise those concepts, help you stay in touch with those concepts for a considerable period of time. So do these chapters in a clubbed manner. Then you can do analytical geometry. It is a chapter related to 3D. Make sure you focus on the later part, especially the paraboloid, ellipsoid, hyperboloid, because UPSC is continuously asking the questions on the next half of the analytical geometry. We tend to focus on the first half, which is with respect to plane, sphere and cone, but then UPSC either asks questions from paraboloid, ellipsoid, hyperboloid, or those related to straight lines, shortest distance between 2 lines. So you need to focus equally on like all these chapters. So after that, what you can do is you can do linear algebra and modern algebra. Now, modern algebra, a lot of us have not covered either during your BTech or during your BSc, MSc, whatever you have done with respect to mathematics. But then, how to do modern algebra? My strategy was not to look at it from a major point of view. I focused on the 10 markers. In the IMS notes, there were a lot of proofs, there were a lot of problems. So I just did those particular problems, and I didn't expect anything from my side to solve to be able to solve those 15 and 20 markers. But eventually in the exam, I had practiced it so much that I was able to solve them. I was able to solve a 15 marker question. So from modern algebra, don't expect a lot unless and until you are really good at it. If you're really good at it, then you can basically go for multiple revisions of modern algebra, and that will help you score those 5, 10, 15 marks extra from your competitors. But if you're not good at it, don't worry, just ensure that those questions, especially in question number 1 and question number 5, which are compulsory questions, you are able to solve those. And this depends only on the definitions. If you are good at the definitions of modern algebra related concepts, I believe you will be able to start the problem and eventually finish it, because the techniques are same. Once you know how to start a problem, you will be able to finish that particular solution. So that is how you do like linear algebra and then modern algebra. Then I would say club chapters like the physics chapters, which is the statics, the dynamic and statics, and mechanics and fluid dynamics. Now, one thing a lot of students find difficult is these are physics chapters. The static part is easy of paper 1, but of paper 2, fluid mechanics, a lot of students are not familiar with these concepts. But I guarantee you, if you are able to put in a lot of time for these two particular chapters, you are going to get sure shot 50 to 60 marks in your examination, and that is huge. With respect to modern algebra, real analysis, it can be a thing that you have practiced a lot, but eventually in the exam something different comes in, and then you are not able to solve it. But I can guarantee you that doing multiple revisions for statics and fluid mechanics, it's going to get you a lot of marks if you are very comfortable with these two topics. Although they are very difficult, but they are supposed to give you a lot of marks. And then there is this another conception that linear programming and numerical methods and computer analysis or computer programming, these chapters are very easy. I would say they have betrayed me in both 2019 and 2020. I had ignored them a little bit. That is my fault. So I was considering them to be very easy chapters, and hence I had during the first attempt I had completed them after the prelims. Then during the second attempt as well, I did not pay a lot of attention, but they betrayed me in both the examinations, and especially in the second examination I tried to solve one of the simplex method problems and I was not able to complete it, and I would say that is one of the reasons why I have 10-15 marks less in this particular I have only 275 marks. But so again, LPP and linear programming and numerical methods and computer analysis is something that can be done by you together. So this is how to complete the syllabus. So as I have said, club the syllabus into different parts and then try to work on one part at a time, so that you will be in touch with a few concepts always, and that will help you retain it a lot. So this is these are a few of the things for the new starters. So this was my strategy for mathematics. I would say this is very important, especially going forward, that I reiterate, it is only the pen and paper approach which is going to help you. Reading is not going to help you, and as long as you are able to you have the ability to put in efforts, you can go into this examination and score very good marks. Once again, I request to everyone, please, since you are taking a technical optional, don't keep very high hopes that you'll score 340 350 marks in the examination, and then it is fine if you score a little less in the GS. No, this is like there are hardly 2 or 3 students who are scoring that much amount of marks, and for the others it has to be a balance between GS and optional. For me, I was like I was disappointed that I scored only 275 marks, but when I think about it, it is still like 25 to 30 marks extra than other optional students from humanities side or from any other side. So that was my thing. Now one more thing I would like to tell you is how to basically choose questions in your mathematics paper. Now question 1 and question 5 are compulsory. Now I would tell you an experience, what happened with me during the first attempt and what I changed during the second attempt. So in the first attempt, I went into the exam hall. I was like, I'll do the mandatory questions first, question 1 and question 5, and then I'll choose the optionals, the selective questions, and then work upon them. Now I started the first question. I did not know three of those 10 markers. I started the second question. I did not know 2 of those 10 markers. Like, I had no idea what they were. And suddenly I realized that at max I could attempt only 200 marks paper. And at that time I hadn't joined the test series, so I did not know how to approach the entire examination for like mains for mathematics. So I panicked. So I was not able to solve 50 markers, and then I panicked. I basically did a lot of mistakes in the questions which I selected for options. So eventually my right attempt for that particular paper was 120, and I immediately realized that I am going nowhere with this particular score. The same thing happened with my paper 2. I tried to do question number 1 and question number 5 first. Similar, around 40 marks paper I was not able to attempt. I panicked, and then eventually it was around only 150 marks which I was able to correctly attempt. And eventually out of this 120 and 150, so 270, I secured around 180 with all the scaling and whatever things go in. And so for the next approach, what I did was I would never read the compulsory questions, because I knew if there is some question which I didn't know, then I'm going to panic and I'm going to be like, okay, I'm missing out on these questions. So I basically started with the selecting the questions which I want to do as options. So question number 2, 3, 4 and 6, 7, 8, these are the questions I used to look at. I used to dedicate 15 minutes. I did not used to write a single word on the answer sheet. I used to dedicate 15 minutes to try and decide which are the 3 questions I'll be solving from these 6. 2 from one section and 1 from the other section. So once decided, once I was sure that I'm going to score at least 70 or 80% marks from these 3 optional questions, then I would solve them completely, and I would ensure that I'm keeping at least 1 hour 20 minutes for the compulsory questions. So 80 minutes for the compulsory questions, and the remaining basically 1 hour 40 minutes for the optional questions. That was my strategy. Then once I was able to attempt 80% of those optional questions which I have selected, then I used to go with a lot of confidence while solving question number 1 and question number 5. And even those questions which may go wrong, because of my confidence I was able to solve them properly, and I had a lot of time. I was able to finish whatever I wanted to solve with like 5 minutes before. Again, this is not the complete. I was not attempting 250 markers. I was attempting somewhere around 200, 210. But the confidence which I was getting by solving the optional questions first, it was helping me to solve those compulsory questions. And that is something that you can do. And this comes only with practice, because as I have said, I did 2 full-length tests, 2 full-length test series. One before the prelims and one after the prelims, and in both these test series I practiced the same thing, that I was not going to solve the compulsory questions first. I was going to solve the optional questions first, and this practice actually helped me in the mains examination. So that is something that you can also try and do. One more thing, I am planning to basically hold an entire session, live session, like I took it a few days back. So I would like to hold a similar session so that I can interact with students who are taking maths as an optional, and try to solve their doubts. I won't be helping you with the actual content of the syllabus, but I will be helping you with respect to the approach and the strategy. So stay tuned for that, and see you soon, and all the best to everyone. Thank you.